All right, Shalom, Kwahala, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakwadash. Double honors to the head apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and salutations to the Yakim out there on the highways and byways, noising this word abroad, all around the country and all around the world. Now, I want to get into this article right here. It's from the National, and it says, 7-year-old migrant girl dies of dehydration and shock in U.S. Border Patrol custody. And for you Jakes out there, I already made a video before about the northern tribe of Central America. Here it is, you coming here in the United States of America seeking a better life, but yet this is how you're being treated. This is how these devils treat you. You try to come over here, to seek a better life for you and your family, so you can live comfortably, but yet, you're leaving a third world to come to another third world. And ultimately that, not even that, you're coming to a land where you're just greatly hated. You're coming to a land that you're greatly hated amongst these devils right here, especially the main devil that's spearheading the campaign is, Donald Trump, President DJ Trump. He's the main one that's spearheading it. He's the main one saying that we don't want you in this land and that y'all go home. We don't want you over here. But yet, y'all still want to trust in the society and want to trust in this devil and everything he does. And this is how he's treating you, This is the way, this devil treats you, especially to our people. But yet, our people want to love this devil and trust him. But let me get into this, more of this article real quick. It says a 7-year-old Guatemalan girl who crossed the southern border into the United States illegally earlier this month dies of dehydration and shock after being approached by the U.S. Border Patrol in New Mexico. The girl and his father were part of a group of 163 people who surrendered to the Border Patrol officers on the night of December 6th, south of Lordsburg, New Mexico, according to the Washington Post, which first reported the story. She was identified on Friday as Jacqueline Carla. The Associated Press reports sitting an official from Guatemala's foreign minister. White House spokesman Hogan Gately called it a horrific, tragic situation, but he said the Trump administration was not responsible for the girl's death. Does the administration take responsibility for a parent taking a child on a track through Mexico to get to this country? No. And real quick, let me just say this real quick. All of that land over there and in the Midwest and by the West Coast was all the land of Issachar, belonged to the tribe of Issachar. Originally this is not the so-called white man's land, How can you take a land from a people and put up, a border fence or a borderline saying that you can't come back here when this is already, their land in the beginning, from the beginning? But that just shows how wicked and how evil this so-called white man is, Here it is, he's in violation of the law where it says remove not thy neighbor's landmark. But he wants to, take over somebody's land and then push him out, and then put up border fences and border walls and all types of barbed wire saying, you can't come back here. But this is not your so-called land. This is not your land, you for you so-called white people, who gave you the audacity to do such a thing. And here it is, you're taking a 7-year-old girl into custody and not giving them no and refusing to give them the basic needs of water, especially in that hot ass sun over there. But that just shows the wickedness of the so-called white man. And we've been telling you, you tribes, for the longest, that this so-called white man is going to start to show his horns. The one DJ Trump. You tribes, you're going to learn the hard way. You're going to find out how much of a devil this so-called white man is. And not just the southern tribe, the northern tribes too. Remember Hurricane Katrina, right? That just goes to show you how much these devils feel about our people. Look at the situation in Hurricane Katrina. Here it is when that disastrous storm hit, A lot of Jakes was left without power, without food, water for weeks. For days, And this situation is in their own backyard. And for you northern tribes trying to come over here, trying to seek for a better life, this is how they treat you. But reading on. In a statement sent to the NPR, a spokesperson from the Department of Homeland Security, which includes the Border Patrol, stated, as we have always said, traveling north illegally is extremely dangerous. The representative added, unfortunately, despite our best efforts and the best efforts of the medical team treating the child, we were unable to stop the tragedy from occurring. Come on. Here it is, you couldn't even give her a cup of water to fucking drink, and you talking about we couldn't stop the tragedy from occurring. See these devils, man? So you hold a 7-year-old girl into custody for weeks without giving her any basic necessities. But this is supposed to be a caring and helpful land, though, right? Yeah, right. But that goes to show you, Goes to show you how these devils feel about you. 8 hours after the girl and her father were taken into custody, she began having seizures, and body temperatures was measured at 107.7 degrees by emergency medical technicians. The girl had not eaten or had any water for several days, Reporter Nick Minsoff told the NPR's Morning Edition on Friday. In a background briefing for reports at DHS, officials said that without the life-saving measures of CBP, this child wouldn't have likely died in the desert alone. The CBP officials during the briefing that during an intense screening at a Border Patrol station in Appleton Wells, New Mexico, the girl showed no symptoms, and her father signed an English language from saying she had no current health issues. You see? But they just stated that that the little girl haven't drunk or eaten anything for several days, Here it is, you take a little girl into custody, you can't see the signs of her, needed some water or any basic necessities. The girl and her father were among groups of migrants who were then busted to a large CBP facility in Lordsburg. It was during the bus raid that the girl began vomiting, and CB officials said. When the bus arrived at Lordsburg an hour and a half later, the official said she was not breathing or was, restricted by the border agents. You see, here it is, these devils, they just, all this bullshit. I'm not going to read any more of this bullshit, though. Here it is, these devils, arrest the 7-year-old girl amongst them that were taken, and they can't even give them basic necessities, which is food and water. But that just goes to show you how, these devils feel about you, These devils don't give a damn about our people. And for you Jakes out there, when are y'all gonna wake up and see that? When are y'all gonna wake up and understand that the so-called white man is your enemy and he's not your friend? But yet you want to trust in everything and all the bullshit he's doing. You want to trust in his ways, and look where it gets you, and look where it got them. Trusting in this so-called white man. And ultimately, he's going to really show his horns during the hour of martial law, This devil's really going to show his horns during the hour of martial law. Because, now that his kingdom is deteriorating and the Most High is bringing his kingdom down, you're going to start to see more of his horns start to grow out of his head, But let me just get the precept real quick. So this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 10. And it says, "Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so as his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crunching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wept and looking glass, and and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away." You see, this devil's actions haven't been wiped away. He hasn't changed since he got to this land. Ever since the so-called white man got to this land, he's been the same devil as he was before he even got to this land. Look at the North American Indians, which are the tribe of Gad. Look at the way they treated the North American Indians after the North American Indians, nursed them back to health and taught them how to live off the land. And look at the way they treated them. They killed, raped, robbed, and murdered them and took the land, through a way of rape, rob, and murder, And look what he's continually doing to our people. Here it is there, the northern tribe of Central South America coming here to, maintain a better life, to escape the way of living in their own land, to come to a better life. And look at the way the so-called white man's treating them, treating them like shit. But this is the way the so-called white man feels about our people on the sign, He doesn't give a damn about none of us, And if you northern tribes thinking that you could come over here thinking to seek a better land, seek a better opportunity, and seek a better life, you're sadly mistaken, Because you're only leaving 1/3 for a war to come to a next. And ultimately, now that the times are short now, and now that the Most High is closing these gaps up, you're gonna start to see the horns of the so-called white man come out more and more and more day by day, and we're already seeing it, you know. And this is just only the beginning. It's only a matter of time before they're giving orders to shoot down you tribes, of the northern tribes of Central America. It's only a matter of time. So with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakwakadash. Double honors to the head apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. And peace and salutations to the Yakim out there on the highway and byways. That's noise in this word abroad all around the country and all around the world. And with that, I want to say shalom.